On the 8th of March 1897, the Lancashire, Derbyshire and East Coast Railway opened Clowne Station. There were 2 platforms at Clowne Station and services started with a stutter. Now regular passenger services, they ceased on the 10th of September 1939. As previously mentioned, it was renamed to Clowne South in 1951 with the E added to Clowne. But the station closed completely in April 1964. By the 9th of January 1967, the railway line through the station had gone too. So today I've come to have a little look around Clowne South Railway Station. I'm going to get shown around and have a look inside the tunnel, below the road, and what future plans are afoot for this amazingly restored former railway station. A look on railmaponline.com, I can show you where we are. The yellow line being the Midland Railway, Creswell on the right, and off towards Staveley on the left hand side. Clowne is smack bang in the middle. I'll zoom in somewhat and you can see both lines close together. The blue one is the subject of the railway line and the station that we're looking at today. Clowne South is right here on the centre of this map, and Clowne and Barbara was on the Midland line just here where the arrow is pointing right now. A look at this map from around 1900 shows the curve that both lines had to the formation and the close proximity of running almost parallel together. Both stations pretty much a stone throw from each other, and also the lines going off to the top were into the nearby colliery. So we're walking down to where the track bed would have been pretty much directly below us. It is on quite an incline now, and that headed off back towards Langwith in that direction. The former Shirebrook North Railway Station, we've seen that in a previous video. Got a gentleman called Adam here. He's going to take us down to where the station was, the tunnel that passes under the road, and the former station building just there, look, which in later life that was actually a bank. So we've got the retaining wall coming down there, look. This would have been the northbound platform, as you can see, absolutely buried. Would there actually be any remains of the platforms, do you think, under here, or is it just going to be dirt? Or
there are some remains. When we were excavating down here to sort the landscaping out, our original plan wasn't to put any platforms in, but when we were excavating we did find remnants of the platforms, which unfortunately had been smashed up, so they were laid on the sides. So they've ended up in the tunnel, which I'll show you later. And then later on we decided that it would be fitting to recreate the platforms and try and make it look as authentic as possible down here.
So what Adam and the volunteers have actually done is recreated what the platforms probably would have looked like, with the blue brick below. Look, we've got some nice white paint on the non-slip and even a beautiful old lamppost going up there, look. That would be in authentic colours for the line, would it?
That's what we're guessing, yeah.
That's a nice mix, isn't it? Because it's usually always like creams and reds, most like a maroon colour, so that is really nice. We've got the same on the opposite side, look. Platform edge, blue bricks sloping down to what is beautiful 63636. Is that a number which relates to a locomotive that maybe even run on this line?
Yep, and there's photos of the actual steam engine that did run up and down this line, so that's why that number's significant to that particular train. It's a bit of a tribute to the train, really.
Old sleepers as well, going all the way up, making this nice, well, it's a pathway down, isn't it? I would have thought these sleepers would have come from around here. I suppose you just source them somewhere, and also creating this double track. I mean, that's
source from here.
These are actually from here, aren't they?
Well, from that line.
Oh, so these are off the former Midland line, which is on the other side. I point out as well that this is a complete volunteering thing, and you come down on Tuesdays.
Yep.
And it's just basically kindness of individuals locally and businesses which have helping to create this, because they are also responsible for the Midland Railway's Clowne and Barbara Station. That was previously Clowne without an E at the end, by the way. I think they changed that about 1950, not long before the station closed, was it?
Yeah.
So, and I believe this station also didn't have the E on it, did it, when it first opened?
No, it didn't, no.
No, so it's quite... I wonder if the actual village was actually named without the E earlier on. Answers on a postcard for that one.
Yeah.
You don't know that one, do you?
Oh no.
I've put you on the spot now. This is really nice because from a distance it adds to like the authenticness for all of the walkers passing by and the locals as well, and probably even those that can remember it running. Penny Engineering created this, and they're a local firm, aren't they?
Yes, they're only down the road actually.
They're just down the road, and it is made of steel, so that's really, really nice, and it just sits nicely on top of this wooden track that was taken from the Midland Railway just on the other side, just the other side of those buildings there. Now, one of the prominent features of the station was the short tunnel or the extended bridge below North Road in Clowne, which has the booking office immediately above it. It's quite a standout feature, isn't it? I really do think it's a stunning feature of this railway station in Clowne. So I think we ought to go and have a little look inside. So let's have a look inside. So this is the tunnel that went under the road, under the station building, which would be about there. It was later the bank. It's longer than I actually thought it was. And because from up there, it looks like it's just a large bridge. So just here, apologies for the lighting, because I didn't expect to be doing this today, but we'll line it up as best we can. This is a part of the original ramp from one of the platforms. That's really good, isn't it? And it's preserved in here. We can't really see much. You can just make that out. So there's some infill there, and there is a bricked up wall on the other side.
It was one of the pieces that we've actually recovered, and then we've had to bring it in here because there was no way we could salvage that piece, unfortunately. Standing here, above us is the little roundabout just in front of where, say, the Nag's Head and the Orchard Noir building is, the old booking office.
Oh.
So, right here, the reason they put this in is because when they was building the road for Tesco's, they couldn't understand why the road was sinking at this point, and it wasn't until Alan Bailey, the chairman of the history group, pointed out that this was a railway tunnel. So they ended up having to excavate down to open all this back up again, which we've got a photo, and then they had to build this to reinforce the road, and then they built the roundabout. So if you look at the roundabout, there is a slight dip on it, and that's because of this here. That's remarkable, really. And there's a slight curve to the tunnel as well, isn't there? A very slight one, because it shoots off to the left a little bit. It does, yeah. It did actually come through here, and before we put the curtain up, you could used to be able to see the curve to the left. It's a little bit difficult to see now, but there is a curve to it. A quick trip back to the map from the early 1900s, you can see again, I mentioned this previously, the curve of the railway line, and part of that curve is in fact in our short tunnel of Clowne South Station. You can see it there, can't you? And note where the station is and the line bursting out on the left hand side. We'll trip over to the Google map and you can see the roundabout just off away from where the railway station is. Booking office on the right and the roundabout is on the left. So you can see where the road going off to Tesco, shooting off to the left, is where that subsidence would have occurred. So back on the outside, we've got something else to show you, and it's the former station signal. It's still got its wooden framing around the bottom, look, but look at this. It's cast iron, isn't it? And that'd be something to replicate that and maybe get another one in its place, wouldn't it? Just to actually put it back to how it was. That'd be remarkable. Yeah, we're discussing that at the minute, bringing this back. Oh, that would be really good. Yeah. Was it a distant or a home, do you know? It was a home, I believe, on the old black and white pictures. It's hard to tell, but I think it was. So that'd be the red one, wouldn't it? Yeah. You could just make out in this image that signal that we've just been looking at. Left-hand side look of our short tunnel, and the head of the signal is round about where the guttering is on the left-hand side of the station building. In this image, look at all those minis on that car. That's fantastic, isn't it? You can see the signal is up, and again it is on the left hand side of the guttering of the station building, and this one just about confirms what we thought. It was a red home signal. It's faded, but you can see the colour, and looking through the tunnel you can see what looks like a double-header steam locomotive passenger train coming through. So talking about that as a future potential plan,
Have we got anything, what's happening next?
Yeah, as of this morning, since we've come down, John, the project manager, has suggested that we make the platforms in this whole area a little bit more, as it were. I mean, we've got the sleepers and the grass down here, but this was all planned without the platforms. So platforms was an afterthought.
You dig some of this back then and flatten it out a little bit.
So, I mean, it's only initial planning at the minute, but we're going to take the grass out from each side of the platforms, remove the sleepers up to the top edges. So from the top of the platforms where they disappear into the ground downwards, this will all be ballast. We may even try and extend the track a couple of sleepers, we don't know yet. But John's idea is to try and recreate this whole section from the tunnel to the edge of the platforms as much authenticity as possible.
Also, there was a mechanism at the base of the signal, and there would have been a wire going below both tracks. So it's good we've got the tracks here to demonstrate this properly. There's a pin sticking out the ground here, look, and there would have been a wheel attached to that, and that would have gone back to the signal box further down the line. We've got an original imprint there, look, 1895 Joseph Hamlet, HMBLET of West Bromwich. That's really nice that hasn't faded. They're lovely, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're really good. Also some remains of a telegraph pole up right next to the southern platform. So this is the original ramp down, look, which would have gone down to the platforms. So would it have gone straight down here, or would it have double backed on itself, do you think?
No, it was a straight ramp all the way down to the platform.
So that's quite a distance really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So tunnel entrance down there, track bed. This is the original booking hall, the station building. It was later used as a bank. That looks distinctly like the Fat Controller up there.
It is. I did it for my niece and nephew.
Because initially it looked like just this wet patch on the wall, and I was looking at it, I thought, that's got a top hat on it, and then he looks like he's got arms down the side and feet. That's quite novel. So the station building is being used as something else now.
Yeah, it's a hair and beauty salon place now.
But at least it's not derelict like a lot of them went or got knocked down. But it must have looked pretty good as a bank as well.
Yeah, and this is where they would have come out and down the ramp.
So the former entrance, huge door that must have been. Must have been maybe a wooden frame or window at the top above the door.
Yeah.
Below the arch.
Not been able to find any photos, but I can imagine that's what they'd look like, yeah.
I bet someone's got one somewhere up a loft or in a box under the bed. And we could just make out the station front on this fine image. This must be an early 1900s photograph. Got the name above the canopy and the entrance just below. You don't see them like that anymore, do you? And this is what it looked like later on in life as the Trustee Savings Bank. And this is the view you would have been greeted with coming out of the booking hall, booking office door, track bed straight down. It was an amazing view watching workings coming in and even bursting out the other side. The ones that didn't stop here must have been boom, straight out there and then down the ramp to meet the platforms. And this is what the volunteer team had to contend with to repair and cut back all the overgrowth and sort out all that brickwork. Look at the state of it in this photograph here. We'll jump onto this one. This is the ramp look that we've just walked up. You can see it's all been tidied up, bricks stacked up, and they've laid some ballast down in places to level it off. The removal of this tree must have been a substantial job, chopping it down and then taking the roots out of the ground, where the booking office is on the right hand side and that doorway we've just been stood at. And finally on the opposite side, look, substantial amount of work had to be done to stabilise and reinforce and repair that wall.
There are some remnants of this end platform further up if you want to see that.
Yeah, you can do.
Yeah.
We've come away from the station a little bit and the platform, the southbound one, was just here. And that is remnants of it. There's brickwork below that tree, look, you can see how long this has been closed. Look how high those trees are, and it slopes down just there and meets the track bed level. The other platform being on the other side and the tracks in between. Oh, I've not seen any lino that looks like that for a few decades. It's blimey. So a little look at where we're going to be shown by Adam. Got the platforms at the far end on the eastern side of the station. He's going to show us the platform on the left hand side. The southern platform is what we are looking at. I can jump over to this picture here again. It's just behind the camera on the right hand side. That is where we're having a little snoop around. And there's a clearer shot of it. Look, this is a little bit further up back towards the station building. Lots of bricks around, and they believe all these bricks scattered everywhere are probably from the goods shed that was right here. A little bit more there. What's that thing?
Yeah.
Bit of reinforcement.
Like a wooden post with a big bolt through it.
Yeah, I wonder if it stopped any slips back in the day when it was open. So that'd be the platform top around about there. There's an old tether on the floor just there, and there's a couple still tied into the ground, like just here. Just ghosts of what was once here. And even here you can clearly see that flat profile of the platform heading considerable distance back up to the building. I'd say we're a couple of 100 metres down, do you think?
Definitely.
Very, very long. So we'd actually be stood on the platform right now, so we'd be looking back at the station building, waiting for your services to come through, headed down towards Creswell, Langwith and Shirebrook. Like this, there's always going to be something. You think you're there, you think you've done it, and then wow, someone has a brainwave, it's like, oh, let's do that, and you put it out there, and like all of you you're never going to say no to it, are you?
No, I'm not. I love it. It does be brilliant. I love being down here.
Yeah, if you think there's more to do, you'll do it. You won't just leave it, because and then eventually you'll get more people involved. It's not just the rebuilding that is a major part of this, it's also the maintaining. Yeah. Just simply like checking the bricks are okay, weeding, cutting the grass occasionally. Still, you won't have so much grass if the platforms go all the way back, but that's brilliant. Thank you very much, Adam, for showing us around here. It was very, very spontaneous. Yep. Going to add lots of pictures on, archive footage, photos, and some from your actual working days as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll send you them. Yep.
Pop down and say hello to them Tuesdays. And come and say hello to them and come and see what they're doing, because it is a remarkable thing. Next video after this is going to be on the Midland Railway. I'm partway through walking that now, and I came here, it was very like out of the box, it just happened. Thank you very much, Adam.
That's okay.
Thanks to absolutely everybody that's doing this. Yeah. Really appreciate it. I'll come back soon when you've done some more. Yeah. A volunteer team are also responsible for the Clowne and Barbara station site on the former Midland Railway. They do some fine work there, and they've also turned that around. It's absolutely stunning. That is going to feature in the next video following this one as I walk the line from Creswell to Staveley.